From the biggest and brightest ever FIBA 3x3 World Tour season, we hear from regular season MVP Disco Damo Jones, who talks about his incredible season and New York Harlem's rise into a 3x3 powerhouse. It's my favorite part of the year when I can dish out awards and give a few shout-outs. Who better to do that than me, right? Novi Sad were literally unbeatable in 2018, but were pushed all the way this season. Novi Sad's players open up about the fight to stay on top of 3x3's mountain. Plus, stay tuned to the end of the magazine for its top plays of the whole season. It's quick, it's epic, it's Olympic. Welcome to the world of FIBA 3x3 basketball. A gameplay with non-stop music on a half court with two teams of 3 players aiming to hit 21 points before 10 minutes of game time is up. Can you believe it was a year ago since Novi Sad had more W's than the Wild Wild West? The Serbian Masters overcame Riga Ghetto in the Bloomage final in Beijing to complete their unbeaten 32-0 record after destroying everybody in 2018. Will Novi Sad continue their dominance and win their 4th title in 8 seasons of the World Tour? Or will a rival take them down and snatch the crown? Let's find out. Season 8 is always great. In 2019, there was a record 11 Masters, and we flew to new locations as the 3x3 madness spread to all parts of the globe. There was also a best ever $2 million in prize money on the pro season. After being unstoppable in 2018, all eyes were on Novi Sad, but it was immediately obvious 2019, it was gonna be different. They were knocked out in the semifinals in Doha by arch nemesis Lehman to end their amazing 35-game win streak. You knew the champs was gonna strike back though, something like the Joker in the subway. They won back-to-back in Chengdu and Mexico City with Dushan Bullet bringing the sweets like white chocolate. Get it? But just when you thought Novi Sad was going to steam through the whole world tour, the world #1 didn't win another Masters all season. Up stepped last year's runners-up, Riga Ghetto. With superhero duo Carlos Lasmanis and Norris Miezas in full flight, the Latvians won a tour-high 3 Masters in 2019. After their early victory in Doha, Riga Ghetto won in Prague with Lasmanis, aka Batman, growing Bruce Wayne almighty. Their best performance was saved for the last Masters of the season in Jeddah when 3x3 made his first visit to historic Saudi Arabia. With Batman down with an injury, Miezas proved he was no longer Robin and switched capes to lead Riga Ghetto to Masters #3. But the World Tour wasn't just about Novi Sad and Riga Ghetto. This season became more unpredictable than a Kardashian relationship. 8 teams, including 4 for the first time, won Masters. Eastern Europe has dominated 3x3 over the years, but the balance of power shifted this season. American teams New York Harlem and Princeton ended USA's 3-year drought by winning Masters in Lausanne and Los Angeles. And new kids on the block, Edmonton from Canada, won in Nanjing. Shake Gubale from basketball powerhouse Lithuania came of age in 2019, going from unranked to 5th best team in the world in just 1 season. They won the Montreal Masters with lethal lefty Marius Ujupis and Aurelius Pukalis, showing more chemistry than Robert De Niro and Martin Scorsese. Several players stole the show in the regular season. Lehman's Mihailo Vasquez was stronger than Thor to finish as the World Tour's top scorer, ahead of Mr. Bulletproof, who had the best average, and Stepan Kojic. Vasquez and Kojic's consistency were key in Lehman winning in Debrecen and playing in all 11 Masters, finishing on top of the total prize money with nearly $300,000. The biggest prize went to one of the smallest players on the court, Dominique Jones, aka Disco Damo, who snatched the regular season MVP trophy and left a lot of ankles hurt and egos bruised along the way. Dominique Jones, aka Disco Damo, always has had talent, but this season, my man took his game to a whole new level. His spectacular performances were rewarded when he claimed the MVP of the FIBA 3x3 World Tour 2019 regular season, voted by his peers and fans.
We spend a lot of time on the road together and we see each other spend a lot of time together playing against each other. You know, just to hear that the guys voted for me other than, you know, their teammate or their countrymen was big for me, and respect to them. I voted for myself because even my team manager, Jess, she was like, I got everybody to vote for you and this, that, and the third, and you got a good chance to win. I'm like, I have no chance of winning. Probably like the third, fourth day, you know, so I was something to go on here and vote for myself, and I voted for myself, which was, you know, pretty selfish, but, you know, I actually ended up winning, so it was kind of cool. It's definitely an honor, you know what I mean? Like, I put in a lot of hard work in order to get here, and just to see that hard work come to fruition is, you know, it's a blessing. I was definitely surprised, you know what I mean? I know I would be in the running, but I didn't think I would ever win it. But since I did, you know, so it's definitely a blessing.
His amazing improvement is a testament to sheer hard work, and he might also have a secret ingredient, his newborn son.
My son, he was born September 20th, and you know, it changed everything for me. First, no sleep. I get no sleep at all. You know, he wants to be held all the time and stuff like that. Just seeing a life being born into this world because of you know, it changes everything. And to look at him, and no matter what I go through, the pain, it just brings me joy.
Disco Damo has been the heart and soul of New York Harlem's rise into a powerhouse, where they won their first ever Masters in Lausanne and a record 6 Challenger titles.
Competing in 6 different Masters, you know, giving the whole team a chance to experience what that Masters life is like. Mexico City is really good for us. We set ourselves apart from a lot of different teams, and we commanded, I said, the respect. Also, I want to say Novi Sad, not on the World Tour standing, but just being in the heart of Serbia and just dealing with those fans and just dealing with the competition and just learning and just being in that environment was big for us. You know what I mean? I think that helped us out a lot. And I want to say making a final, because I said it's been a long 4 years since we've been here. In 2015, all we had to do was come first or second in an event. So we had the opportunity to go to a final, but this time we had to earn the final. You know what I mean? So many teams competed, and 8 different teams won out of 11 different Masters. You know what I mean? So the talent and just the commitment is just there now.
There were some insane clutch shots made throughout this World Tour season, where players were deadlier than a Fortnite gamer. Let's take a look at the coldest buzzer beaters this season. Number 5, Lehman and Gagarin coming down to the wire in OT in LA. Without a healthy sub, they defied the odds yet again by feeding the manimal, Mihailo Vasquez, with the Tissot buzzer beater, helping lift his team to day 2. Number 4 on the list, we go all the way back to the second Masters of 2019 in Chengdu, a Game of the Year candidate between Riga Ghetto and Canada's Edmonton. Norris Miezes, aka Robin, robs the Canadians of victory in the quarterfinals with a cold 2-piece to send his team to the semis. Talk about robbing from the rich and giving to the Pope. Number 3 takes us to the land of Swiss cheese. Just 5 seconds left with homestanding Lausanne up on Princeton, but they accidentally left Damon Huffman open like a not safe for work tab. DH, in this case, stood for designated hitter as he connects just before the horn into the quarterfinals. Our second best Tissot buzzer beater of 2019 was delivered at our first Masters in Doha. Balanga Chooks out of the Philippines showed they Puso against Moscow Inanimo. Alvin Pasao goes banga. He called gamer, ending it from the corner. Number 1 on our Tissot buzzer beater countdown, we get a 2-for-1 thanks to the ballers from New York Harlem. Down 2 after a missed free throw, Disco Damo coming through with a double in the clutch like Derek Jeter to send it to OT. That was the first Tissot buzzer beater. The next came from Harlem's new addition. Tell me, baby, can you stand the rain? Game time as Harlem would go on to win their first ever Masters. This is what you have all been waiting for, right? I sure have been. It's time for my season awards where I shout out those who have caught my eye during this ridiculous World Tour season. This is gonna be fun. Let's get started.
Can we get a drum roll, please? Boop, boop, boop. All right, my first award, the Body Snatcher Award, goes to none other than Vufi, Nikola Vukovic of Team Zamoon. This dude could have started his own graveyard this year. He caught so many bodies. I'm sorry, Carlos Lasmanis, but he bodied you. Nikola Vukovic, man, he lost all that weight, and his liftoff is the real deal. So, Vufi, keep it coming, big fella. My Nobel two-piece prize award winner goes to, this is a no-brainer right here, Steve, yes, sir. The Edmonton Sniper, 6-time World Tour Masters two-point shootout winner. Obviously the record setter this year, he had 17. Come on, man, ridiculous. And he's wetter than swim lessons. You cannot leave Steve Stir open or he's gonna cash in on you. He did it all year long. I gotta give this one to the guy that earned the nickname, New York Harlem, Marcel Esewune, stand up. Man, this dude protects the rim more fierce than the cell phone password. You just can't get in, no matter what you try. He's got great length. He deters players' routes to get to the rim just from his presence and was a huge reason that New York Harlem had so much success on the tour this year. The most consistent, sick passer, man, he's slicker than a can of oil. Gappy, the teacher, Gasper Ovnik of Team Piran. They pass more than honor students, and he's the top teacher, so Gasper Ovnik, he gets my Helping Hand Award for 2019. Norris Miezis, AKA Robin, AKA Batman, AKA the Joker. It's no laughing matter when he got that crossover in front of you. He does it different too. It's not just one. He hits you with the double cross. Maxim Kovacevic. This is an award that I wanted to give to someone who is a major contributor to their team, but they just don't get as much acclaim. He stepped in when called upon on a team that was just decimated by injuries, and you can never forget that Deverson Masters final performance. This dude hit 6 two-pieces. He was unconscious. He had a band wrapped around his head. He was bleeding. Disco Damo Jones, the regular season MVP. This award goes to the player that shows up in the biggest moments, clutch. I think back to that Lausanne Masters that they won. They were down, I think, 4 or 5 points late against the French team, Nantes. This dude hit a two-piece with time running out to send it to overtime. So this goes to that guy that always gives you the business. You hate him because he's scoring buckets on you, he's D'ing you up, he's blocking your shots, but he always comes to shake your hand at the end of the game. He's always very complimentary of his opponents. That goes to Princeton's Kareem Maddox, man. This guy is a class act, man. You just can't hate him. You just can't hate him. Marius Ujupis. Now, he's not really a newbie to 3x3. He started way back in 2010 at the Youth Olympic Games. But man, this dude is the real deal, no GMO. I gave him a nickname too, Uzi, because he be emptying the clip on whoever's in front of him. When you ask me who got next, Marius Ujupis got next.
The dunk contests were litty this season, especially a sick, ridiculous contest at the Los Angeles Masters powered by the LA Times. We went back and forth on this one, but here's our selection. The star-studded LA Masters dunk contest featured legend Chris Staples, and everybody hated Chris after this. Staples stung him with the sick scorpion dunk over 2 volunteers. Landing at number 4 on the countdown, Jordan Sutherland taking the legendary wind dunk and adding a little cayenne pepper to it in Mexico City. But look at the extension. He reached back into his childhood to get that one. Number 3, Chris Staples, in a showdown, pulled out his favorite throwdown. He does a 360 while putting the ball under both legs. It was like he took a seat mid-air before extending again for the finish. And number 2, Remix made us question if he's a fellow member of the human race, because gravity just don't affect him the same. The dude is under 6 feet and he's 37. But I guess age ain't nothing but a number. Getting up ain't nothing but a thing. And we saved the best for last. At the World Tour final, Dmitry Smooth Kravchenko gave us an exclusive from his secret collection never seen before. Self-serve behind the back, through the legs into the wind dunk. Just a straight masterpiece from 3x3's aerial architect. Sometimes you just gotta sit back and appreciate greatness. We have been waiting all season for this. The top 12 teams fighting for 3x3's biggest prize in historic Utsunomiya. Wilson even designed a special edition of the game ball inspired by Japanese artwork. Defending champs Novi Sad came into the final struggling, and their hopes of a repeat appeared at an all-time low after they were destroyed 19-10 by Princeton and former NBA star Robbie Hummel in the pools phase. Novi Sad had to beat their old Serbian nemesis Zemun to qualify. Remember the final in 2017? When the Dragon, Bogdan Dragic, pulled off the greatest Tissot buzzer beater of all time? Of course you do. Novi Sad again couldn't slay the Dragon. My man tied the score with 15 seconds left, and OT was needed to decide this one. Lazar Raske missed the chance to knock out the world number 1 before Tomasz Ivosev ended the game in the paint. You come at the king, you bet not miss. But the Serbs first had to rely on Princeton beating Zemun, which they only did in the last minute, but Novi Sad do live to fight another day. Other than Princeton, the most impressive team was number 1 seed Riga Ghetto, led by newly minted world number 1 player Norris Miezis. And he was the one like Neo, as the Latvians easily beat Edmonton and Amsterdam. Novi Sad looked down and out on day 1, but you knew the champs were going to make a comeback like Joe Pesci and the Irishman. Montreal Masters champ Shake Gubale had become a powerhouse, but Dushan Bullet was out for revenge like Uma Thurman and Kill Bill. USA pride was on the line between New York, Harlem, and Princeton, but Princeton won the bragging rights to storm into the Final Four. In the semis, it was a rematch of last year's final, Novi Sad and Riga Ghetto. The Latvians were confident, but the Serbs were at their brilliant best with Tomasz Ivosev, aka Frankenstein, going down to the dungeon before Mr. Bulletproof, of course, sealed Novi Sad's spot in the final. Better luck next time, Riga Ghetto. In the second semi, Princeton were too good for surprise package Team Amsterdam. LA Masters MVP Kareem Maddox was a dream around the basket as the Americans eyed Novi Sad. In the final, Novi Sad hoped to defend their crown, while Princeton looked to become the first American team to win the World Tour final. Princeton were confident after beating Novi Sad in the pool stage, but on the biggest stage of them all, it was different. This epic season came down to the wire, and Marko Savage was just that, savage. Tournament MVP Tomasz Ivosev would seal things off from the line as Novi Sad captures an unthinkable 4th World Tour title in 8 editions. They remain kings of 3x3 while the American drought continues. Novi Sad destroyed everybody in 2018, but found it to be more difficult this season on an absolutely loaded world tour. After the 35-game winning streak ended in Doha, Novi Sad returned to business with victories in Chengdu and Mexico City. But then the going got tough. Novi Sad amazingly did not win another Masters title and limped into the Utsunomiya final.
There's the other side of the story, where you're undisputed champion, you make a perfect season, you give the bigger motivation to other teams to beat you, and you must be on the much higher level next year.
We also raised the bar very high. Everybody expects us just to win and nothing else.
The guys from the other teams, they always told us, I'm going to beat you, I'm going to beat you, This year we lost a lot of times against the rival teams, and they saw their opportunities that we are beatable.
Every team is much better this year, and everybody's shooting crazy, but we have some changes in our defense this year, and I think maybe we have some problems in that. I didn't have confidence in the defense. Savic maybe didn't have confidence.
That was not the doubt in our qualities, just about the form. And in this game, the energy is everything. If you go with less energy than opponent, it's going to be really hard for you to outplay them.
It's very difficult to play every weekend. I cannot forget when we go from Montreal, I come home on 18 hours, then I go to Mongolia. Then from Mongolia, I come home on 2-3 days, go to Los Angeles.
Every team, when you have a couple losses, like a little bit shake down. But we are professionals, we are in this sport a long time, and there was up and down, so it's important how you want to stay together.
I think the main difference in between last year and this year was that we let other teams win, because it would be too boring that we win 2 seasons in a row. Lions sometimes put the kittens, let's go play, and then when it mattered the most, we win. So I gotta stay on this.
After a big opening loss to Princeton, Novi Sad only just stayed in the tournament with a thrilling victory over Zamoon, and then had to rely on Princeton beating Zamoon, which the Americans did, much to the relief of Novi Sad.
Honestly, I don't know if we deserve to go to the quarterfinal. I don't love when I depend on somebody else, but I need to say to Team Princeton, they have a big respect for me because they can lose easily and we are out.
The first day, we look really bad on the court. But there is some moment before the quarterfinals when we talk about it, like, guys, we need to put big energy if we want to win the tournaments. And after the quarterfinals, when I looked at the 3 other guys, I knew that we're going to go to the end.
When it mattered most, Novi Sad turned it on and dominated the knockout stages en route to their 4th World Tour final victory.
I think that is what is make us the best team in the world, because everybody can do everything. Even Dusan can guard big guys and low post. So.
We didn't play good this season, and then we came here and won it, and I'm very happy. I don't know what to do right now when I go out from here.
Having done it all on the World Tour, the biggest prize in 3x3 awaits, a historic gold medal at next year's Tokyo Olympics.
Somewhere is written that we're gonna play on that Olympic game and come home with a gold medal. I know that.
And now the moment you've all been waiting for. It's the top plays of the World Tour season. Las Manos, Batman. Voofy, bang. The Dark Knight rises, only to get punched on. This time the hero definitely didn't win. In at number 4, Dushan Bullet in his bag of groceries and presents us a dish that would beat Bobby Flay. Delectable. Over the shoulder, no look. I mean, come on, it even looks like the dude is delivering the platter. Voila. What happens next at number 3? Children can't even see without adult permission. Robbie Hummel gets X-rated with Wes Montagny, even messed up his perm. Robbie telling the king, sit down, be Hummel. Number 2, don't even try to tell me you've seen a pass better than this. I will unfriend you. Marco Savage, the surgeon, with a pass that required more precision than a brain operation. He goes behind his back between not only his legs, but the defenders as well. The top play from the World Tour season, we give you a 2-for-1 discount. After a missed free throw that would have put the New Yorkers away, Damo somehow gets a shot off and it's 2 to the dome to send it to overtime. In OT, score still tied. This is when the Don made them an offer they couldn't refuse. Au revoir. Olympics, Olympics, Olympics. Did I mention Olympics? In 2020, 3x3 will make its Olympic debut in Tokyo. You do not want to miss history. We got plenty of other exciting events, starting with the Olympic qualifying tournament in March held in India. And of course, the World Tour will be even more locked and loaded in 2020. You better circle April in your calendars because that's when the first Masters in Doha begins and the fun starts.
Peace out. There we go. From The Voice.